I still remember the way her voice trembled, not from fear but from restraint. "Daniel," she said, eyes fixed on the flickering candle between us. I think our intimacy has faded. I want to open the relationship." For a second I thought she was joking. But she didn't laugh. And that silence, that long, cold silence, was the exact moment my marriage died. It was a quiet Thursday night, one of those ordinary evenings that never hints at the storm about to hit. The rain outside tapped gently on the window, and the smell of roasted garlic filled the air. I'd just finished setting down her favorite pasta, the one I made whenever she seemed distant. Lena looked beautiful that night. Her hair was loose, waves falling over her shoulders. But her eyes weren't soft like they used to be. They were cautious, calculating. "An open relationship," I repeated slowly, my fork still in midair. "You mean, other people?" She nodded, avoiding my gaze. "I love you, Daniel." "Do. But I feel like we've lost the spark. I want to explore just a little. Nothing that would change us. I just need to feel something again." Her words landed like glass shards in my chest. I didn't yell. I didn't throw the plate or storm out. I just stared at her, at the woman I had shared a decade of my life with, and said the only word that came to me. "Okay." Her lips parted, surprise flashing across her face. Maybe she expected me to fight, to beg, to prove I still loved her. But something inside me had already gone numb. The first few days after that conversation were surreal. She acted like everything was fine, humming while making coffee, smiling as if the weight of that night had evaporated. I told myself I could handle it, that maybe this was just a phase. But each day I saw subtle changes. New dresses arriving in discreet packages, late-night showers, her phone glued to her hand. I noticed the perfume first. Something musky and bold, nothing like the floral scents she used to wear. Then the text tone. A single sharp ping that would light up her face in ways I hadn't seen in years. And still I said nothing. I'd walk into our bedroom late at night, see her typing away on her phone, and pretend not to notice how quickly she'd flip it face down. I'd lie beside her, listening to the faint rhythm of her breathing, wondering who she was thinking about. One night she came home at 1:30 a.m. Her hair was slightly tangled, her lipstick faded. "Sorry, babe," she said softly. "Just drinks with friends." He nodded. "Hope it was fun." It was. Then she kissed my cheek, not my lips, and walked into the bathroom. The sound of the shower running was enough to confirm everything I didn't want to believe. A week later she finally told me. "I met someone," she said quietly, as we sat on opposite ends of the couch. "His name's Evan. He's easy to talk to. There's chemistry. But it's just physical, I promise." I didn't respond right away. I just looked at her, the way one looks at a stranger who happens to know all your secrets. "How long?" finally asked. She hesitated. "A month." Month. So even before her little proposal over dinner, she'd already crossed the line. "Why tell me now?" I asked. My voice was calm, too calm. "Because I want honesty between us," she said. "No lies. We agreed we'd be open, right?" I laughed then, quietly, bitterly. "No, Lena. You said you wanted to be open. I just didn't fight you." She looked away, guilt flashing for a moment before disappearing behind that cold, rational expression she'd mastered. After that night, something shifted inside me. I stopped asking where she went. I stopped waiting for her calls. But I started watching. I learned her new routine, the Thursday yoga classes, the sudden obsession with solo road trips, the late-night showers followed by her sleeping on her side of the bed, facing away from me. I began to document everything. Not out of revenge. Not even curiosity. I think I just needed proof that I wasn't going insane. One Friday evening, she left in a black dress I'd never seen before. She smelled like smoke and jasmine. I waited 20 minutes, then got into my car. It didn't take long to find her. Our town wasn't that big. I parked across the street from the restaurant and watched her laugh under the warm amber lights. She wasn't with a stranger, she was with him, the same man I'd once met at her office party. Evan, tall, confident, with that polished charm that always made people feel seen. They were holding hands across the table. And when she smiled at him, that deep, genuine smile that used to belong to me, I felt something inside me shatter. She leaned across and kissed him. Not passionately but tenderly, lovingly. That's when I started the car and drove away. When she came home that night, she found me sitting on the couch, scrolling through old photos on my phone. Our honeymoon, our first apartment, the day we brought home our dog Max. She paused at the doorway. "You're up late." I looked up, meeting her gaze. "How was yoga?" Her lips parted slightly, a flash of fear flickering in her eyes. But she recovered quickly. "Good. Relaxing." I nodded, offering a small smile. "Glad to hear that." Then I stood, walked past her and said quietly, "I hope he's worth it." She froze. "Daniel." But I didn't stop. I went straight to the bedroom, shut the door, and lay awake until the first light of dawn. For the next few days, she tried to act normal, making breakfast, asking about my day, touching my arm like nothing had changed. But I didn't play along. Finally one night she broke. "I made a mistake," she said, tears streaking down her cheeks. "Evan doesn't mean anything. It was just excitement, I guess. You're the one I want. Please, let's fix this." I stared at her for a long moment. "Fix what, Lena? The part where you lied, or the part where you fell in love with someone else?" She shook her head. "It wasn't love. I swear." Sighed, standing up. "You know what the worst part is? It's not that you cheated. It's that you watched me fall apart, every day, and pretended it was okay." She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. "Daniel, please. Don't do this. We can move past it." I looked at her, the woman I had once promised forever to, and felt nothing but exhaustion. "Lena," I said quietly, "you opened the door. Don't be surprised when I walk out of it." The next morning I packed my bags. She sat on the edge of the bed, crying softly. "Where will you go?" she whispered. "I don't know," I said. "But anywhere that doesn't smell like lies." She tried to stop me. She even said she'd cut things off with Evan. But it was too late. You can't unsee betrayal once you've seen it. Before I left, I turned to her one last time. "You wanted freedom, Lena. Now you have it." Months passed. I moved into a small apartment downtown. Started focusing on work, therapy, and long walks at night. Every now and then she'd text me, short, hesitant messages. "I miss you. Can we talk? I made a mistake." I never replied. Then one evening as I was walking home from the office, I passed by a cafe and saw her sitting there, alone, staring out the window. She looked older, lonelier. For a brief second our eyes met. She smiled faintly, as if hoping I'd come inside. But I didn't. I just nodded once, a quiet goodbye, and kept walking. Love doesn't always end with screaming matches or dramatic goodbyes. Sometimes it ends quietly. Over dinner with a single sentence that changes everything. When she said, "Our intimacy has faded," I thought I could fix it. But when she said, "I want to open the relationship," I realized she didn't want to fix us, she wanted to escape us. And when I said, "Okay," I wasn't agreeing to share her. I was simply giving her the freedom she'd already taken. Because sometimes the most powerful way to say goodbye is to say nothing at all.